Hi, I'm John Doe, and this is Release Radar, 6th of March, 2026. Can you believe it? So this is my Release Radar. You might find some tunes interesting that I'm going to find for me. I haven't gone through these in advance. I go through the top 10 every week and see what turns up. Now, if you're going through a difficult moment in time, I sort of am, and I bumped into someone last night who made my situation look comparatively okay. And so I want to remind you that if you're thinking, oh no, this is happening, there's probably someone in a worse situation. Not that belittles your situation, but I thought it was absolutely fascinating when someone says, are you okay? I went, no, not really, this is happening. And they said, my dad died, 2 weeks ago. And I was like, wow. And they went through their situation. We have similar health situations with a family member, and that was really helpful to hear from them. So I like listening to music, so let's do that, which should cheer us all or both up. So this is by Blackpink and it's called Go, and I don't know why it's on my Release Radar. Maybe Izzy, my daughter who's almost 13, has been listening to this. She was going to say soul there. I'm number one. You're God and angel. Your kingdom come. Not sure to beat on my drum. Interesting, we're still just in music. What do you think this is going to be, like slow house sort of pop? Quite interesting, isn't it? Sort of disastrous resonant distortion to go with a sort of nice intro. A Kasabian, Days Are Forgotten. It looks like a mix of something. Okay, so Kasabian have obviously got a track on Young Sherlock. I always think Kasabian should be slightly more aggressive than they are in their production. And if you go back and listen to The Who and Led Zeppelin, somehow their production's very good for being so old. It seems to be the separation of the drums from the music and the vocals. And we seem to have less of that now. I wonder if that's a compression thing overall, because we've got 40 years of hindsight between Kasabian and The Who. I wonder if that's true. Let's come back to The Who at the end. Save Me Tonight, Jennifer Lopez. I hate Jennifer Lopez. She didn't sing a lot of her stuff. I mean, this is so meaningless. It's actually, I should listen to it, but to say that, but don't know if it lasts forever, but it's now or never. You could say every tonight. Don't know where your touch could take me by. Well, you can imagine it's written by AI and then tidied up by someone, demoed by someone else, probably sung by someone else. David Guetta might have had something to do with it. It's absolutely average. Yeah, horrible. Is there a button? I can minus that. Purple Haze, Mesh and Dan Stone. It says it's from A State of Trance, so I'm going to give that a miss and wait till it comes out through Dan Stone's thing. Should I listen to it? Maybe. There's some horrible, weird top-end crackly thing going on that, so hopefully it's mastered differently when it comes out. Bluebird, Feeling Good, Yeti. Dan Stone, by the way, Dan Stone I've just been past. should definitely check out his trance stuff. Even if you're sort of, trance is okay. His last track was really good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in...
Okay, so if you listen to music for long enough, you'll realise it goes in cycles. And this cycle I'm going to describe in trance terms. In about 1996, 97, 98, it was quite hard to get a certain type of really interesting synth sound with pulse width modulation and all this. And then it became very, very easy to do and was in loads of presets in things like the early Nexus, which was a follow-on from another synth by REFX. I can't remember what that was. But it was hard to do, then it was easy to do. And then, of course, that meant that when tracks came out, it was hard to find a track which sounded really good and well produced. And then it became common, and then I was making those sort of tracks, and I got to the stage where I've done this, I've done that, and I had a certain length of hi-hat which I felt worked best on a certain hi-hat, and you can sort of tell where this is going. You know what the BPM is, you know where the kick drum is, you know what bass sound you might be using, you know what lead sound you're likely to be going towards. If you go away from that, it doesn't sound right for that genre anymore because it's become so specific. And then there are loads of those tracks, so the listener gets, here's a great track, and it's like, wow, I love this genre. Here's another great track, and then everything's so great that it's actually normal. And now drum and bass has become normal. It's in adverts, it's commonly used everywhere, and what would have been quite cool just becomes really, really average, even if that's quite a good thing. It's a cover, and it's just in a genre which has become so flooded with stuff. And at the moment, we found this flooded with female vocalists as well at the moment. So, yeah, a cover in that genre is just no interest to me. In fact, I might minus that one as well. Midnight Sun, Super Loud by Zara Larsson. So the reason this is on my release radar is there is a song by Zara Larsson called Lush Life. For it, which is a group I'm in, played live with Zara Larsson on the same stage as her at the what's it called? Isle of Wight Festival. And Zara Larsson has a dance for Lush Life. Lush Life. Da, 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 da. And so that's why that's on there, because Izzy would have been playing that. So that's not for me. Stand Up, Chesedek. I listen to his music. It's Jamaican. Let's go. He is on the sort of commercial end of the Jamaican music, so.
Until you well run dry. You be bouncing around into side. For you must be a something, must be here for something. So find you to not to be living, must be here for.
He's had better things from my quick listen to that. My Way by Doshi. I don't know who Doshi is. So there's no vocalist credited for writing this, and there's no singer mentioned, so I assume this is AI, just like the picture. It's not offensive. Very much chasing the sub-focus sound of 2020. Yeah, this has the same problems as the Bluebird Feeling Good Yeti song further below, where there's so much drum and bass that needs to be really, really good. Like a good sub-focus track to remain listened to. It's no good for me as a listener, having heard 2 billion drum and bass songs, to have that sort of riff thing. It's actually quite nicely made. It's not brilliantly made, and therefore that's where we are with that music. Okay, what's that? This is called by Mark Richardson, and it looks like it's from a thing called Rail. So maybe he's done an album. Let's go and look. Okay, it's only 2 tracks. I was hoping he'd done an album. But he does loads of stuff. And the production's really interesting with clunky sounds and acid. You should probably listen to this when you're driving to a rave. And interestingly, the Tango into Outer Space remix is down at 14, I can see. By using loads of different sounds and moving around within a genre, Mark Richardson does really well. You should check him out if you have time. At the top of this, and this is why I've looked for Tengu further down this, is Stadium, the Tengu remix. Really interesting panning to the left here. Do you like this kind of bassline stuff that Tengu does? And this is, so going back to this drum and bass thing, I kind of like this more because it's underground and doing its own thing rather than trying to be the next pop thing with song and stuff. And yeah, there's loads of things going on in my head to do with drum and bass, and I like this. If you go down to Into Outer Space, which was a kick drum track by myself and Hang the DJs, there's a Tengu remix which takes that into drum and bass. And I like his remixes, so there we go. And look further down, Operator by Tom the Chef. I'm going off on one here, but Yep, good. Okay, well, we've had a look at a few things. I think the winner for me is Mark Richardson. I didn't listen to the Zaral last one. I think we're at a point in saturation in music, I suppose, in general, a bit like drum and bass, where there's so much going on, and now there's so much AI, which also sort of means there's even more going on. And I suppose AI is like another sampler. But back in sort of 1993, when you hear jungle, you don't think, that drum beat, I don't think they really drummed that. So I consider the same sort of thoughts for the AI stuff that's coming into the music. But the more of it, I suppose, you use in the writing, even if you reproduce it, and sampling area is just going to kind of dilute the human element. And also we need to find new direction, of course. AI is retrospective because it's harvesting other ideas, so it doesn't really truly make anything new. Maybe we don't. But we do occasionally, because music's not the same as in 1972. So there we go. Have a great week. If you find good tracks, please stick them in the comments. And it'd be interesting to see if you find things on your release radar which are good. Because some weeks I have a really good release radar, as you know from the last release radar. This week's an average week, and I've had disastrous weeks working through game. What on earth is going on? Anyway, take care and have a great week.